Hi, Todd VanDenburg here with VanDenburg Capital Management and another Uncommon Sense update. So the last week's been pretty good for the markets, primarily driven by news that we're making some progress with our talks with China to try to improve our trade imbalance and having them open their economy to more of our goods and services. So that's good news. We also have some news that it appears that the federal government may have reached a tentative agreement that will fund the federal government for the balance of 2019 and avert a partial shutdown again. Now they have till I think midnight Friday to actually get something signed, so we'll sort of see where that goes. If there's another partial shutdown for a period of time, just like the last time, while it's painful for those people that are put out of work, they will eventually be paid, and it just is what it is. It's the new normal with our federal government. We also had some good news regarding job openings. It's called the JOLTS report that said that we now have 7.3 unfilled or open jobs in the United States, which is an amazing number. It's bigger than it's ever been. And at the same time, we see that the labor force participation rate, which is the number of people that are actually should be working, that are actually in the workforce, that continues to rise. So it looks like what's happening is, because we have so many job openings, that more and more people that had given up looking for work during the financial crisis are coming back into the workforce and looking to take those jobs. And again, with so many job openings, that means that employers have to compete pretty hard to get the best possible talent for those jobs. So that should have a positive impact on wages and continue to push wages up. But that's not what I wanted to really talk about today. What I want to talk about today is something that came up yesterday at my State of the Market update presentation, and it has to do with GDP. So we're going to be seeing fourth quarter GDP numbers here pretty quick. And, who knows what they're going to be? Are they going to be high twos, low threes? It's hard to know, but we'll know when we see it. And what I wanted to talk about is what GDP actually is. So a lot of people rely on GDP to say, how's the economy doing? Is the economy growing? And I don't really use it that way because I don't think it really tells the full story. And the example I gave yesterday, and I'm going to give to you right now, is this. Let's say that you own a piece of property in the Pacific Northwest, and it's got too many trees on it, so you want to thin it out in an environmentally friendly way. So you pay somebody to go to your land and cut down some trees. So that transaction, you just paid somebody to cut down those trees, that is not counted in GDP. Now, if you take those trees to the lumber mill and you say, hey, I want you to cut these trees into boards, so 2x4s. So you pay the lumber mill to make those 2x4s. That does not count in GDP. So now you got a bunch of 2x4s and you take them to Home Depot and you say, hey, I got these great 2x4s. I'd love it if you would sell these to your customers. Home Depot says, great, I love it. We'll take all the 2x4s that you have. That transaction does not count in GDP. Now, if you or I go to Home Depot and buy a 2x4, that's counted in GDP. So as we get the GDP numbers, it's really important to know that there's a ton of stuff going on in the US economy that isn't even counted in the GDP. It probably should, but that's why we follow so much of the data, is these kinds of things. If GDP shows a mid-2 number, we're not necessarily going to be pessimistic because there's a lot more going on and a lot more data that can be used to give a clearer picture of what's going on in the US economy and the markets. So that was your update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, and I'll be back next week with another Uncommon Sense update. Thank you for watching.